Hey, Caleb here. I am in my office at McCabe Park. I'm excited to see you in a couple days on Sunday if you join us online or in person. Um, but why am I in my van? Well, I've been quarantined for the past 2 weeks because I got COVID a couple weeks ago, and I gave it to my whole family, my kids and my wife. It's been such a really long period of time quarantining. We're all safe though. We're all recovered. We're healthy, but we're just finishing our last few days of isolation. So I'm really looking forward to being with you on Sunday. But before Sunday, I want you to be thinking about something. We're going to be talking about the parable of the sower. And what's exciting about this parable is that Jesus calls it the key to all the other parables. Interesting, right? That if you were to get this one, you can get them all. Or if you can't get this one, what's the point of the rest of my parables? So there's some super value to this parable. And before he even gets into this, Mark says something that gives us a clue of what to be looking for. He says, again, Jesus taught by the Sea of Galilee, and he was in a boat. Now, that sounds really nuanced, right? Well, a couple stories before this, Jesus was in a crowd at the sea, and he was getting crushed. And so he had his disciples go get a boat so he wouldn't be crushed. Now the disciples noticed this happening again, and so all of a sudden you see Jesus teaching in a boat now. But he didn't have to say anything to his disciples. Why? Because they learned something. And I want to hear from you. What's something you've learned because you might have experienced something in the past? Maybe it's, you learned how to cook a meal because the first time you cooked it didn't turn out so good, or you made some changes for the second time you cooked it and it tasted better. Or perhaps, you've had another baby, or you're preparing to have another baby. And because you've already had one, you kind of know a few things, what to look for and what to have ready. What's something that you've experienced that has helped you learn for the next time you've experienced. If you want to read ahead, Mark chapter 4, 1 through 20. Mark chapter 4, verses 1 through 20. You can read ahead to get a little idea of what we're going through because we're going to talk about the parable of the sower. And I'm excited to see you again this Sunday. We'll see you then.